everybody, and welcome to this vlog. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, we welcome you, or I welcome you very much. I'm very happy that you're here. So I wanted to talk to you today. Actually, this vlog, it has been about a year and a half in the making, really, or a year in the making. And it's basically how I got my current position and God's hands through that. It's my testimony, really. And I've been really wanting to do this vlog for a year now, but I was just waiting for the right time. And I'm hoping that the reason why I waited a year is because I needed somebody, one of you, to see this vlog and maybe influence you or motivate you to help you go through whatever you're going through. So this current role that I'm in, I'm not going to give too much details about my current role. I'm just going to give you the details of how I got this position. So I was working, I had another job, obviously, and it was a really good job, but I needed a change. There was a lot of stuff happened, and it kind of led me to make the decision that I needed a change, and I needed to, to grow and to look elsewhere. And when I saw the posting for my current role, I just remember, and I don't remember what made me that upset that day, but I just remember that I was really upset. So whatever happened that day caused me to, I remember I was walking back to work, it was my lunch break, and I just remember getting this feeling inside me like, you know what, no, enough is enough. I'm going to log on, I'm going to look at the job sites, and I'm going to see what I can find. So it was the first time that it was really like serious enough, like, okay, I need to start looking, right? No, really looking. And I logged on to the site, and the first job that I saw was the current role that I am in. So I saw it, and I remember reading it and being like, oh wow, this is for me. If the God was going to create a job for me, it was this one. I sent it to my husband, and he had the same reaction, like, wow, babe, that's your job. And so God had kind of pushed me to apply. So I applied, and the application process was very long and tedious. And once I've submitted it and it went to wherever it goes, I was looking at my emails and my phone messages every day, because I was like, you know what, I have like this application, like, I was a little cocky, I guess. I was like, this job is for me. So I remember, every day going, checking my email, checking my phone messages, and even at church I went, and the pastor had, there was an altar call, so I remember going up and just saying, believing, asking the pastor to believe with me and to pray with me for this position. So he did, and everything he said, and I was, after that, I was like, yes, there's no way, this job is mine, like, and then I waited, and then at some point, I don't know, honestly, at this point, I don't even know what happened, but at some point, I stopped looking at my emails. I don't know why, I don't know how, and I don't know, I don't even remember when. But I was still looking at my phone messages. I just wasn't looking at my emails for some stupid reason. I really don't know. And so this was over the summer, and then I remember it was August, it was like August 17, my brother's birthday, and I decided to look through my emails, and there was a bunch of, like, those LinkedIn and all of those like things, right? So I was deleting a bunch of those emails. And this was August 17, remember? So lo and behold, there was an email dated July 13. You meet the qualifications for this, job, and we would really like to move on to the testing phase. Here's the kicker. If you're still interested in this position, please respond by July 15th so that we could have a test on July 19th. It was August 17. I read that, my heart broke, showed my husband. He was not very impressed with me, to say the least, and there was nothing I could do. the thing specifically said, like, there's no second chances. Like, if you miss it, that was it, right? So when you're in this situation, what do you do? Who do you turn to? This job that you've been putting you've been daydreaming about, you've been putting everything into, you were so sure, you've prayed about it, you were so sure that this was going to be your job, and you mess up so bad, and you lose and miss out on this opportunity. What do you do? The only thing that I could do, the only thing that I could do in this situation was go up to my room and pray. So I went up to my room and I just said, Lord, this job is my job. I've claimed it. I'm willing to receive it. I've prayed about it. I've done everything I could, and I just know in my heart that it's my job, but I messed up. What, like, Lord, please, like, I don't know what to do here, but I'm leaving this situation. I'm leaving it in your hands, Father, because I messed up. There's nothing I could do, and it has to be you now. And that's all I could do, right? Leave it in God's hands. So the next day, or so after I prayed, I emailed HR and just saying, listen, I don't have any reason why I messed up, but I messed out, and I'm very interested. And lo and behold, HR never responded. So it was a few days that went by, and I was still, I was ready to follow up with HR because I wasn't going to give up. And then I got this notification, and it was a system-generated notification. And it was just saying, basically, that the posting you had applied for was canceled. So I was like, canceled? What does that mean? Like, what does it mean canceled? Did they not hire anybody? Is there a possibility that it's going to come back? Like, so I didn't know. So of course I emailed HR again saying, hey, I just saw that this was canceled. Is it going to come back? Are we going to repost? What's going on? And of course HR did not respond because, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So HR didn't respond. But it was a few days after that, and the position was reposted. So bam, God answered my prayers right there, the first time of many. So I was so thankful. This time we filled out the long application again. I guess this is like, takes forever to fill out this particular application. And I filled it out and submitted it, and I checked my emails this time not once a day. I checked my emails about 50 million times a day. Like, I kid you not, if there was a spare moment, I was checking my emails because I was not going to mess up a second time on this anyway. So it took 9 weeks before I heard anything back. Now you can imagine, I'm already thinking and praying and believing that this is my job for sure now because I messed up and I got a second chance, and the way everything was working out, like, this was mine. And praying about it, claiming it, believing it. After 9 weeks of doing that, you kind of want to start to doubt yourself, but you can't let yourself go there. You can't, right? So 9 weeks came, sure enough. I got the invite, the same email, you pass, blah, blah, blah. We like to, continue with the testing. And that was all great, fine and dandy. I did the testing. I did everything I needed to do, submitted it, was called back for an interview, did the interview. The interview was wonderful. And then there was a language requirement that I needed to meet. And I'm semi-bilingual. I can speak French, can understand it, I could read it, but the girl can't write it, right? And I needed to have oral comprehension and written results needed to pass. So I freaked out a little bit, prayed about it, got some library books, studied as best I could, and the first test was the comprehension, which was, fabulous. You had to do, actually, it was comprehension and the written. You had to do them on the same day. And I passed the comprehension with flying colors, and I failed the written test with flying colors. And not only did I fail it, I bombed it. Like, I got a score so low that they don't even have a scoring for that for that score. So I really, really bombed it. And when my director called me to tell me, she was like, I don't understand, because you passed this with with a high score, and then you got this low score, and it doesn't make sense. So we're gonna work it out, and we're gonna give you a retest. So this was God again, because they don't normally do this. You fail the test, you fail. You don't get no second chance. You don't get to rewrite it. None of that. Once you fail it, you're out. But because I had made a high score in one test, they were thinking that something went wrong with the other test because it was so low. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, no, you know what? I probably just failed it. So when I got that news, thankfully at that point, she already told me that we were going to redo it because they thought that there was an issue. And I just thanked God because I knew that He had a hand in that. And then I prepared. I only had a couple weeks to prepare again for the written test to do it again. It was going to be written and oral. So I had another 2 tests. So it was a couple weeks later, and I did the tests. I did the written one again, and I did the oral one. And the oral one, you get the results back pretty much like the next day. So I passed it. I was happy. So I passed my comprehension, I passed my oral, and now it was just the written one that I had to wait for. And I waited a couple weeks, and lo and behold, my director calls me, and she's like, we got your results back, and you didn't pass. But this time I was one point away from passing. And she's like, I can't offer you this position because you don't meet the requirements. So when I got that news, I just remember being like heartbroken. I didn't know what to think at this point, because I was so sure that this position was going to be mine at this point, with everything that God had helped me through. All my belief, all my faith in God, knowing that He had me through this whole thing. And when she told me those words, my heart just broke, and I didn't really say too much. What can you say? I can't argue with her. So she's like, but she was just like, so just give me some time. I really want you on board. And if you're interested, if you really want this position, then I will see what I can do. But I'm not making any promises. So it's just like, okay, I really want this position. And she was like, okay. So after I got the news, I cried. I cried like a baby, really. I got home, I was so depressed. There was nothing. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to do anything. I just went upstairs and I went to sleep and I cried like a baby. So at this point, my faith was a little rattled, so I'm not gonna lie, I was a little shaken up. Like you continue to grow, you continue to go through things, right? But it was my in-laws, God love them, had some good messages for me that I didn't want to hear until the next day, because I needed to go through that first night. I needed to go through and I knew that I would get over it. I knew that I would be able to put myself back up and get back in there. But I just needed that night to be upset, to be mad with God, if you will, because I didn't know why I failed, and I wasn't understanding it at that point, and I was hurt, and I was, I had put everything, and this was more than half a year of trying to get this position. I had applied in May, and we were now February. So, it was a long process, and a lot of, continuing to believe, and then when you get this news, and so I was just heartbroken. So the next day, after my night of crying, my husband told me what my in-laws, the messages that his parents, the mama and pop, had for me, and lifted my spirits up. And And then I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm done. My God, I know this position is for me, but I'm done. I'm done trying. I'm done checking my emails every 20 minutes. I'm done fighting. And I said, Lord, I know this position was for me. I know it. I don't know how this is going to happen now. I have no idea, but it doesn't involve me. So I'm just going to leave it in your hands, Lord, and you're going to do whatever you need to do, because I'm done. I threw in the towel. I was done. I was like, God, I can't. This is not my battle. I can't handle this no more. I'm stressing myself out. I'm upset. I'm depressed. I can't. So you take this now, because it's you, right? And I let it be. And there were times during this, and this lasted a few weeks, really. I don't even remember how long. It was like February till maybe end of March, so a good month and a half maybe. And there were times where I would get really sad, depressed, and talk to God and be like, I don't understand, Lord. I don't understand like why this happened. I'm still waiting. And at this time I said, like I said, I wasn't going to contact my director. I wasn't going to go there, right? I wasn't going to ask her. I wasn't going to follow up. I wasn't going to do any of it. I was just going to wait until, what happened. The one thing that got me through it, honestly, was every morning on my way to work, on my way walking to work, I listened to some Christian music. What's her name? She really, her music really got me through it. Daigle, Lauren Daigle. So yes, Lauren Daigle. If ever you have an opportunity and you want some inspiring music, then Google her, YouTube her music, Lauren Daigle. I'll put her name down here. Listening to her music really gave me strength, and it gave me confidence and everything I needed to keep the fight, really. And I remember the last dealing I had with God, with the Lord. I just remember walking to work, listening to this music, and picturing somebody else in my position. I was like, somebody else is sitting in my cubicle. We're going to be sitting in where I'm supposed to be sitting. Somebody else is going to be doing the job that I'm supposed to be doing, that God gave me. And then I just stopped. I literally stopped in my tracks. And I said, no. God gave me this role. Lord, you gave me this role. I believed it. I claimed it. I'm receiving it. There is nothing stopping this role from getting to me, or me getting to this role. This position is my position, Lord. It is mine. And I said, listen, God. I was being pretty frank with God right now. I was like, listen, God, I don't know what you're going to do, and I don't know how you're going to do it. And frankly, I don't care, but it's going to be done, because this role is my role, and I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to wait to receive it, because it's mine. There ain't nobody else sitting in that position, sitting in that cubicle, doing that job, because that job is for me. So I'm like, so you do what you got to do, Lord, and I'm just going to wait here and receive it. And then I said, yeah. And that was the moment that I walked off with my head held high, singing my Lauren Daigle songs, or Lauren Daigle songs. And I walked into work, and I knew that was my job. And it must have been 2 days later, my director called me, and she was like, listen, I was able to work something out. I was able to do some shuffling, and I am able to offer you a full-time permanent position if you're still interested. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, I'm still interested. And she was like, listen, I just want you to know that this never happens. We never hire full-time permanent, like in this kind of situation. I've never seen this before. And I just smiled and I chuckled, and I'm like, yeah, well, when you're a child of God and you know what the Lord has for you, then great things happen, and he works his magic, and things that shouldn't happen to you. So that was basically how I got through that situation. And it was maybe 2 weeks later, and I started the role. It was very quick. And I remember her also telling me that I've never met anybody as patient as you. She's like, I'm surprised you weren't calling me every other day to check on the process, And I just chuckled in my head, laughed in my head, really. If only you knew the struggle that I went through. All in all, I know that there's no doubt in my mind that I'm in this role because it's supposed to be, this is the role that God had for me at this moment in my life. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to be here forever. You know, with God's grace, I'm going to continue to grow and continue to move up the chain. But you know, this role, I love my job. I'm so happy doing what I do, coming into work and doing what I do. I can't explain when you're doing, you know, what God wants you to do, how amazing that is. So I guess there's a lot of morals to my story. One is that, you know, God has a plan for you, and you could mess up that plan a million times, and He will keep guiding you and directing you to where you need to be, where He wants you to be. And when you're walking in God's plan, it'll be amazing. You'll be happy. You will find joy. You will be successful. Things will come so easily and so naturally. Another thing is just never give up faith and you know, be confident and claim it and receive it and believe it. And anywho, I just hope that if you're watching this and you're going through something similar or something, you know, anything at all, basically just know that God has a plan for you, and it's a great plan. And don't ever give up. Don't ever give up hope, and don't ever give up faith, and just trust in Him. If you're going through issues, if you're going through situations that you can't handle, then just give it to God, because He's taking care of it already. He has it all worked out for you. You don't need to do anything. If you live your life knowing that God is there to fight your battles, it's going to make it so much easier and so much better. And He is a much better fighter than you are, trust me. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. It was supposed to be a short vlog, and it's probably a really long vlog, but like I said, it was a year in the making, and somebody out there needs to hear it. You know, that's all I got for you. So I do have another vlog coming up, a little bit less on heavy, and it's about something that we just recently got. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may already know what we just bought, or what we now have. And if you don't, then follow me on Instagram. Here's my handle. Follow me on Instagram to find out, or wait for my next vlog. But we do have a little something exciting that I will be posting a vlog on shortly. So other than that, if you have any comments, any stories you want to share, anything at all, any examples on how God helped your life, or how, you know, if you want me to pray with you or whatever it is, just use the comment box below, and I will be very excited to talk to you, to hear from you, to hear your stories. If you like this video, if I, you know, helped you out in any way, or if you just like the message, then please hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. I'm very happy when I get new subscribers. And I'd be very appreciative if you do decide to hit that subscribe button. So that is all I got for you today. I hope I see you next time. Have a blessed day. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.